we are. We're fired up. Welcome back to the Rare Evo podcast, the third edition. We've got two major things going on here today. First off, we've got Nathan as a co-host for the first time with the Rare Evo podcast. And then second, the most important, we've got Rob here from Cornucopias to talk with us about Cornucopias, everything they've got going on. We were just discussing some live events, so really wanted to fire that up. I'll let Nathan give yourself a little bit of an introduction. We'll jump into Rob from there.
Yeah, of course. Glad to be here on the Rare Network podcast. We're trying to get these fired up. It's, there's all sorts of things going on in crypto, scheduling people across multiple time zones. That's always a fierce ticket to contend with. But we're just glad to be here. Glad to be live once again with Rob from Cornucopias. We're waiting on Josh. He's driving home and he promises he's going to be on here. So we definitely want to talk with him. But Rob, super glad to have you here. We were just chatting about how you were at Rare Bloom, which is now Rare Evo, last year, and talking about, being in conferences, meeting people. You in particular were discussing the lack of oxygen in Denver, how it's a totally different environment. Yeah. So let's just have fun, hang out, talk about this, and we're excited to learn more about Cornucopias.
Yep. Hello there. I'm Rob Greig, the co-CEO of Cornucopias. And we are a MMORPG AAA game on Cardano Network.
Explain to some of the folks what an MMORPG is. I kind of know, but I'm sure a lot watching right now.
So it's a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, which means you are a avatar or a character of your choice. You enter into a 3D space online with lots of other players online, and you go into your own little fantasy world or whatever's happening in that particular game and space.
Well, and the benefit of StreamYard is that anytime we want to pull up examples from this or see what it's actually like, because the visuals are beautiful on Cornucopias. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Rob, but this is being developed in Unreal Engine 5, right?
Yep.
So it is the real deal, right? Like if you're a hardcore gamer and you care about graphics and being in an immersive world, like Cornucopias is literally setting the standard for Web3 games. So it's a name that I heard about a lot in the Cardano community and just in Web3 gaming in general. But maybe talk to us a little bit about sort of your background too, Rob. I don't know, that much about you. Do you come from the traditional gaming space? Why even develop a Web3 game other than we all know it's the future, but we're biased because we're Web3ers?
Yeah, well, I mean, a few people know my story, but yeah, I started programming when I was 12. So when I got my very first ZX Spectrum, so I'm 50 this year, so that's how old I am. And I actually spent more time thinking about the games and trying to write them than I did actually playing them. So I've always kind of, in them days, what you would get these computer magazines, and they would have these little cards on them, and there would be cheats for games, so you get unlimited lives or unlimited ammo. So I would program that into the Spectrum and then share it around the schoolyard. And programming wasn't, back in the early 80s. Then it wasn't kind of a career that I obviously knew about. I was just doing it for fun. But then I went to college and university, and then straight from there, I was actually did programming as a job. So I had a kind of like a corporate career. Realized that I actually really wanted to work rather than just drink coffee all day. So I started my own business, developing my own software with my business partner, who is now also one of the co-founders of Cornucopias. So we met at school, Anthony and myself, and we've run kind of consultancy businesses throughout the last 30 years. Going into either small or medium companies and kind of figuring out their IT systems and then bringing in teams of people and building them up, and then in between that we've started our own companies, and we've grown those and then sold them. And so my career is dipping in and out of, I suppose, contracting consultancy jobs, and also building up my own team, and then selling those businesses, and you know, a bit back and two like that. So the companies that I've been working with, well, when I've been developing my own software, have always been cutting edge. So at the time, you know, SMS, sending text messages, was cutting edge back in the 90s. So I've worked with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and local authorities in the UK, and always really followed the bleeding edge, as we said. So when I started following the blockchain space back in 2017, you know, that was naturally a new technology that I was interested in. And then in 2020, Cardano said, look, we're looking for developers. We're starting off this new community space called Project Catalyst. So I started with Project Catalyst in Fund 1. So I was one of the original 50 people that was in that original fund. There was no money then. It was just, you know, people getting together and just figuring out what Catalyst was. I wrote some open source software for Cardano with .NET, Visual Studio. And then Josh at the time was running his own stake pool, and he had a YouTube channel, and he just reached out to me and said, oh, look, Charles Hoskinson has just called out your name as one of these projects for Fund 3. Can you come on my show and let's find out more? And so I had a little conversation with Josh, and at the end of that interview, I said, you know, I'm working on this game. I've got this idea for this game. You know, the rest is just history. We started Cornucopias on the 1st of July 21 officially. So a few days from now.
It's almost the 2-year birthday.
Whoa.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Cornucopias. Yeah. I love that. I'm curious, as someone who's been around since Fund 1 and everything like that, you've really seen the gamut and the growth of everything happening there. I kind of wanted to ask about how you got into gaming, but then when I heard that, my mind was like, wow, that's amazing to have such knowledge on that. Like, what is it like watching that grow over the past couple years, and like where we're at today? Have you seen significant growth when it comes to Catalyst and things like
massively that? In the early day, those original 50 people were quite close, and working with Ideal Scale and Door at the time, who was in charge of all that. You know, we knew it was early days, and we had so many ideas that we were going back into, and then we were developing to Fund 2 and to Fund 3, and we watched it grow slowly, and we knew every project that was coming up, and we were helping every project, and there was a real community that started forming. So, you know, because I was into cryptocurrency, like most people, I just came in to follow the coins and speculate on the coin. But I actually ended up finding a whole like-minded community, and I've never been part of a community like this ever before. And it was just great. And even to this day now, we have quite a few people that were part of those early Fund 3. Kyle's in there. We're working with us. Steve Corn Pops. He's quite popular. He was from Fund 1. So I know most of the early projects and some of the new projects that are in the Cardano space, and a lot of the developers. You know, I've seen Blockfrost go from a proposal to where they are now. I remember Liquid. I think when they first put their first proposal in, I don't know if that was. I think that was around about Fund 3. So I've seen lots and lots of projects start from a proposal, come on the town hall, and now they're still up and running, quite a lot of them. So yeah, I know the space really, really well, and I think that's really helped to, you know, have a good grounding, get a good taste of the community, and kind of build your reputation up, because that's all really what Project Catalyst is about. You know, build up your reputation. And if you're not successful in one fund, we'll learn from that and go to the next and go to the next. And, you know, you just get a really good grounding, but it has its flaws. And, but I think what it does, especially for me, you know, without Catalyst, we wouldn't have Cornucopias, and we wouldn't have quite a few of the big name projects.
Absolutely. And it looks like Josh is going to be joining us here in a bit. So I'll just keep talking here until Josh comes in. But Rob, you just have an amazing perspective, because not only you said that you knew the space really well, and you're referring to Cardano and the blockchain space here, but like, not only are you an OG in Cardano and the blockchain space, because I found out about blockchain in 2016, but I'm not like an engineer. I don't have the technical background that you do. You're also like an OG, just like in the tech space in general, where you're talking about like being first to SMS, being first to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Now blockchain, like, it just blows my mind. I'd love if you could like share some insights about when you finally heard about blockchain, or what's your blockchain story? Was it Bitcoin first? Was it ETH? Was it, you know, there was a decent amount of stuff happening in 2017, but it's nothing like it is today. You know, the only thing that moves faster is AI.
Yeah, well, I think it was round about November. It was it's a very similar story to a lot of people. It was a top of a hype cycle.
Oh yeah.
So I remember at the time, I think Cardano had actually just launched. That was one of the first coins I bought, and I remember paying $1.10 for it. And literally a few months later, it went like 0.02 or 0.0. It lost quite a lot. But, you know, over those years, I've kept those Cardano, and they actually were in profit at some point because it went up to $3.
Oh yeah.
Now they're back way below than what I bought them from. But, you know, there's a tail there of keeping hold. And yeah, I'm not a trader, because I don't know. I just grab hold and just keep hold for life. But yeah, that was the time I really got in there, and it literally, I mean, it just sounds like a cliche, but after watching Charles Hoskinson's, you know, whiteboard video, I just kind of just followed it. It just had an interest to me. And I followed all the space since then. You know, I've followed the path of Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Cardano, seen the birth of like Polygon, Polkadot. So I've seen all of these grow, but Cardano is the one that, you know, I've kind of been in from the start, that I really believed in. And even when we started our project, you know, going back 2 years ago, we knew that we were developing on a chain that was really in its infancy. So we knew that it would take us time to build our project. So we can wait for the tools to appear. You know, even now, Atala Prism is just about ready to be launched with the digital identity, which is the perfect time from where we are. You know, we didn't have that 2 years ago or 1 year ago. So we're ready to see the space. But it is difficult because we're building new software, which is obviously sat on UE5, which is new software. When we started, it was UE4, but we knew 5 was coming. Also based on Cardano, which was in its infancy and changing. So we're kind of developing on quicksand. But I am I've developed software all my life, so you know, it's all about managing the risk and timing. So I am really comfortable with the approach that we've taken. And what's exciting is that it gave us the opportunity to actually, because we were one of the early adopters of Cardano, is to create a lot of innovation in the space as well. So you'll see a lot of the things that we've done that other projects now are taking the lead from and doing similar to us, which is great, because that's what we want. We want to build the whole space together, because as Cardano grows, more people come into Cardano, then they're going to see our project. You know, there's no point in being one big fish, and you know, that doesn't get you anywhere. You need everyone to grow, and then that attracts the volume and the people and the eyes to all the projects, and we can literally all grow together.
Well, and that's an interesting question there too, because, you know, sort of the premise of this conversation is that there are a lot of people that will listen to this. They're going to Rare Evo. Maybe they're into blockchain. Maybe they're from the traditional space. Maybe they're into other chains, but they're not really into Cardano. It would be amazing if you could talk about, like, what are some of the things that you have pioneered on Cardano that now you can see other projects are doing so that people are aware. You know, you never know who might be listening, who might start a game or a project based on hearing this for the first time, you know?
Well, when we started, there was 4 of us. So, you know, that is, we look at where our project is now 2 years later. You know, if you get involved in the space and start working with the community, and they will support you, you can reach out for them. So anybody, whether you're a one-man band or 2 people, you know, whether you have a big project or a little one, you've got to start somewhere. You know, so this is what you can achieve in blockchain space. You can start really small, and you can really scale to as far as big as you want. The support is there. We're all techies here, and we all look to help each other. We've created, I suppose we've created lots of different frameworks that we can share. I mean, we created our COPI wiki as we called it, and I don't know if you've seen that, but that's copiwiki.cornucopias.io. That's, at the moment, that's it's a living document. It's over 400 different pages. We've just integrated AI into it, and it tells you everything about the history of our project, history of our mints, all the policy IDs. It tells you about the game. So as I was studying games, how we were going to launch, and look at what other people were doing, it was clear that there was lots of fan sites out there. So there was a thirst for fan, and the fan sites, though, were kind of only half built, or they were forgotten about, and there's misinformation in there. So I knew, you know, if we create a fan site, because there's no better fans than us, we can create a fan site that not only will educate our community, which they use now, that they're always referring people to our wiki, but we can also, as we're bringing on other people within our team, they will use that as a manual as well. So it not only is it the biggest live white paper ever, but it's got our whole history in there. It's got status updates in there. We update it every week or every other week. It's always the first place to go to. And now that we've integrated AI, those 400 pages are not as daunting as they used to be, because you can just go and ask a question and it'll give you all the links. You know, I think that's huge innovation. In the future, we'll be introducing decentralized nodes. It's not something I can talk about now, but that fits in really well with gaming and community, and there's huge innovation there, especially in the game and UE5 space. You know, we've brought in UE5, and not only are we one of the first games in the blockchain space to use UE5, we're one of the first games actually in the world to be built at this scale, and we are kind of classed as an indie company, because there's only 31 staff of us. So we are relatively small, but what we've done with our team is incredible, and I think it stands up towards some of these other games. But when you look at the mainstream games, they can often take between 5 and 10 years, to come out. You'll see nothing, then they'll just come out, and they'll either be a hit or a miss. But I think a huge innovation for us is, because we've been so transparent and we're building with our community, the community are feeding back immediately. And you need that in the crypto space, because they're always wary of projects disappearing. So we're constantly doing updates. We have our YouTube channel, like Josh and myself do a show every week. Episode 57 will be out tomorrow. So that means we've done this show for over a year. We're the 2 CEOs, which is very rare to get to speak to one CEO in a company, never mind 2 of them every single week for an entire year. We're just part of the community. We're really approachable. We're doxed as well. So those are kind of a few of the innovations. But what we're doing with UE5, I think is really innovative, because it will attract the traditional web players, the PC players, were working on cutting edge stuff, so the graphics are absolutely top notch, and it will stand the test of time. We are building all our own assets in house. We were really, something we really wanted to do. In the early days, we didn't have the team to do that, so we started off building prototypes, and we built our original systems on UE4. And we used some marketplace assets because in them days we only had a team of 6 or 7. It was really important to us that we spent the first 13 months building a game, showing the public that we can build a game before we did any NFT mints. A lot of projects raise the money first. I understand that because you've got to build a team, but we wanted to show we could build a team before we raised money. And this was actually one of the lessons that I learned from Project Catalyst. If you want people to support your project, show them that you can actually develop them. So building all our own assets has been really, really important, because in the future, when you see a lot of other games companies come out, you'll start recognizing some of these assets that they use in the marketplace ones. So we're really confident that our game will stand out because we do build our own. But the gameplay itself, when you finally see that, has been built for individual players so they can go around and do daily tasks, but you're also part of a large community. So you join a district and you're encouraged to work together to build up this district. It's like a world building kind of game. So you can play individually, you can play as part of a team, and you'll be rewarded individually, rewarded as a team. There's lots of different gameplay. We have custom domes as well, where we're hoping to attract traditional companies, big brand names that you'll know, but at the same time, they can be purchased by anybody, just people that work from home, start your own business. Everybody is equal, and everybody has the same fair chance within our ecosystem.
So much good stuff here. And that's why we're glad that Josh is now here in the background to help add some context to it. Rand, we're going to bring him up. And also, Rand, I want to make sure that one of the benefits of StreamYard, right? Rob's telling us about all this good stuff. If you want to pull up some of it while he's talking about it, like the wiki, or if we want to do a video or something like that, we do have that capability. We have the technology. Okay.
All right.
Can do.
Well,
now we've got both
We've got Josh
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. CEOs here. Yeah. Josh, welcome.
Hi. Good to be here. How's it going?
Excellent.
Going well. Glad to finally have you two gentlemen here in the room. We were listening to Rob regale us of amazing stories of not only his tech background, but of the wonder world that is Cornucopias. Now you can give it even more context, jump on the hype train, tell us about all the crazy stuff that you're doing. So,
yeah, lots going on. It's been a crazy week, a full week, but a full 2 years, really. We're coming up on 2 years very soon, where we'll wish ourselves a happy.
Did Josh freeze there? I think he was going to say, wish ourselves a happy anniversary. Yeah. I'll autocomplete his sentence right there. Yeah. Josh, we'll wait for him to unfreeze. Josh, happy to have you here, whether you're frozen or not.
There he is.
I
was literally about to present the Cornucopias wiki when he froze, so I thought I did it.
We do this game, though, sometimes where we do pretend to be frozen.
We do play that
I thought
game.
That's what you were doing, Josh.
We can do it here. All you have to do is count to 1, 2, 3, and then everybody freezes.
I'm gonna close down some stuff just in case that was caused by my system. I do apologize.
Sure, no worries. Yeah.
There we go.
So you had the wiki up there, Rand, and I was looking at it too. It's got it's in night mode. It's got that nice black background. And Rob was talking about, how one of the best things about having a wiki from the project is that, there's no greater authority than the project, right? Who's going to put out the best information other than the product? Fans, even if they're the most amazing fans in the world, sometimes they get stuff wrong, everything from misspellings to just not really knowing what's going on behind the scenes. So having an authoritative wiki from a project that now, as Rob was telling us, has the power of AI in the background, so you can easily search through it. Although I love browsing through wikis, Wikipedia, I've done that for hours. Makes it a lot easier. Rob was also telling us too, interested to know about this, Josh, because along with the wiki, which is like super open, transparent, you get the authoritative knowledge from the project itself. You guys do on YouTube the COPI Cafe, where you guys are chopping it up, doing the video, and having that sort of access to a project where literally the CEOs are getting down and telling you what is happening. That's still, unfortunately, somewhat unprecedented in the blockchain space, even for like big companies. So I know that it's really appreciated. Maybe talk a little bit about that, whether has it been a fun journey? It looks like it's been a fun journey. What people can look forward to, like, are you excited about your anniversary? Just talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So COPI Cafe was done and branded in a certain way for very specific reasons, but it emerged early on as an idea. Like when we started the company, I was playing more of a marketing role, a CMO type role, and that evolved and changed. But in the beginning, my approach to marketing was based upon my experience in crypto and, knowing that so many of us in crypto are on high alert, as we should be. There's a lot of scam projects and all sorts of issues in crypto, and there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good projects as well. But clearly, a lot of the reason for crypto in the first place is because of distrust of existing monetary systems overall, myself included, right? And so, I think the nature of a lot of the people that come over to crypto and are attracted to this space is that they have a discerning eye towards looking at things and going, And so with that being said, our desire was, let's communicate regularly. As the CEOs, at the time, I was still actually, when we started COPI Cafe, we were both CEOs, but the concept began way sooner than that. And the concept was really like, I wanted to communicate as regularly as possible with our community and build relationship and cultivate relationship. And so the way we branded it was like, look, Rob, we're going to be in the freaking weeds. We are, it's the time, it was after the token launch when we launched COPI Cafe, and we already started realizing and recognizing at that point that there was way more to do for both of us in our existing roles as CEO, even sharing a role. There was way more to do than we could actually do. Like this vision and what we're trying to accomplish is enormous. And so we realized like, we need to brand this very casually. It needs to be like COPI Cafe because we need to be able to just pop on and update the community. We can't have something where we've got to do 3 hours of pre-production. It looks super buttoned up and I just went and took a shower and had, we just can't do it that way. We need to be able to just pop in and give an update. And if it's not that easy, it's not going to happen with regularity. And so ironically, like the first 3 episodes, we canned them, we trashed them because they weren't good enough and we had to learn some things. But then once we got to where we learned a few things, we were like, all right, let's go, let's launch. And then we had to stick to our guns and commit to it. And it has not been easy, but I will say that it has been worth it. And I think our community appreciates it. And we have a relationship of trust, in my opinion, in a space that is so untrusting and deservedly so.
Well, yeah, most definitely. It seems like I love reading on the YouTube comments underneath it where people say we are the corn, because I just think that's hilarious, but also clearly a positive expression of solidarity where it's like the game is still in development and there's all this stuff happening, but like people seem like they're ride or die with you. Just want to make a suggestion here as somebody who has been a professional content marketing manager. I know you don't want to be buttoned up, but it could be cool to do like a suit and tie whiskey episode, just if you're looking for
I agree, man. That's fun. Every once in a while, it's good to change it up and do,
We did have the Halloween special. That was good, wasn't it, Josh?
The Halloween, yeah. Wow, I forgot about that one.
I did a full
Rob
face
showed
paint.
up in full gear for that one. I did not do a great job, but Rob did. Rob nailed it. So we did a Halloween special, and he was character from Star Wars, Darth Maul or
Darth Maul, yeah, full face. I didn't speak. I just stayed in character.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
and it was creepy. He did a
Full
good
face
job. He did
Yeah.
a good job.
I bet. Yeah, sometimes it's fun to wear a suit, make fun of, these suits that are in crypto, things like that. But yeah,
I actually love that show, Suits.
I see it on
That's a
Netflix,
good
but I don't have enough time to actually watch Netflix.
I hear you on that. That's
So,
for sure.
It seems like a fun show. But yeah, being transparent and auditable. I mean, not only is that just so important because that's what blockchain is supposed to be. I mean, that's like one of the main reasons to trust, let's say, Bitcoin, right? It's like you can look at it anytime you want to. This is just the sort of human and personified version of that. And like people, you say like it was something you had to commit to, and it's something that's hard to get to do. Believe me, nobody knows how hard it is to build a podcast network and continue doing podcasts than me doing it recreationally and professionally. But a benefit of that too is the project doesn't just become like NFTs or this game that people are playing or these sort of digital assets. Like people probably feel like they sort of, whether they actually know it or not, they sort of like know you and Rob, and they're like, they're hanging out with you. And if you've listened to, once again, the analogy being like a podcast, if you've listened to different episodes, you're like, yeah, these are my boys. Like, these are good guys. Like, of course I want to support their project. I want to go meet them in person. I want to, learn more about this stuff. And so it's just beneficial in so many ways,
Yeah.
One.
Yeah. Appreciate that. No, I agree. And some stuff that Rob was saying while I was still off stage in the green room is important too. It's like we are in this together as a community, and I like that. I like that about what we've done, building a relationship. I mean, community is the ethos of crypto, without a doubt. The power of it, along with the transparency, obviously, and just so many other things. But yeah, we definitely value that.
Well, and I think that where you've gone right with this is obviously there's lots of people that pump and dump and they use community as a marketing term, but it's one of those things where I think it when you see it. And it's like either these guys are actually doing community or this is the biggest long con I've ever seen, which seems like a lot of effort.
I saw a comment like that.
Bailed a long time ago. That's
oh, gosh. Yeah, you've been playing this for years. No,
the biggest long con I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's just super interesting when you think about it like that. But a lot of fun stuff happening. We were talking about it being developed in Unreal Engine 5. Game is still technically in development. Guys, I've got a super basic question. This is going to seem so basic, but I couldn't find the answer to it anywhere. Why is the game called Cornucopias? Like I tried looking for that everywhere and I could not figure out, like, is it just something because Cornucopias makes me think of like Thanksgiving. I'm sure that you've gotten that comment.
It is. It's the horn of plenty. It's the project that has everything for everyone, whether you're young, whether you're old, individual, hardcore gamer, whether you're casual. It's got everything, and the heart of it maybe is the corn. You can do a bit of harvesting and grow stuff on your farm. There's lots of meanings behind the word.
Okay, that makes way more sense. It was one of those things where I'd be literally Googling like, why is it called Cornucopias? And of course there's just, I tried looking at stuff and then people would say, we are the corn, things like that. And it was keeping me awake at night a little bit. So
I really liked that answer a lot, actually.
Yeah, it keeps us awake every night, doesn't it, Josh?
Yeah, it goes along with abundance, and just the mindset of crypto overall as well. But like, I think you had an interesting story on where you came up with the name on that, Rob. I don't know if that's something worth telling.
It would spot if I said we were looking for a domain name that nobody's ever had, and then we added an S on the end. It would ruin the romance.
I don't think it ruins the romance. I think it's an interesting jigsaw puzzle piece to a puzzle that is still being completed. There's a couple stories like that, like in the traditional world of people just coming up with company names because they were like, the domain name was $9 instead of $9,000, and we only had $100. So I think it's an interesting talking to entrepreneurs like yourself, there's always interesting stuff. You're solving problems. Rand knows what I'm talking about. You're just having to sometimes fit things in, where previously
it took a long time to come up with the name, but actually I remember I was within kind of like 12 hours in the same day, 2 people mentioned the word cornucopia on YouTube, different channels, and I thought that's an interesting word. And then that's when I went out and go, that would fit in quite well with what we're doing, because we want to create a project that's free for everyone, and everybody does start the game with their own piece of land, which is unusual because crypto, everybody wants to buy land, but we give people their own piece of land, their own home bubble, and there is an unlimited amount of these home bubbles, these free home bubbles, because we want everybody to come in and play with the game. You can then go to one of the theme zones and buy your own land, and that's a different type of gameplay. But at the heart of it, we always wanted to create a game that's free for everyone to play.
So that's it. I did not know that you're just gifted your own piece of land, so like you can immediately start playing, adding to it, cultivating it. That's sort of like, it reminds me of like the West.
Go to the page in the wiki, click on home bubble. It's all there.
Also, the wiki is now AI powered. So if you wanted to go ask questions of a variety of, whatever questions you have, you can go into our wiki and it's connected to an LLM. Thankfully, the what's the name of it? It's Gitbook or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, Gitbook. Gitbook added the AI feature, and Rob clicked a few things and incorporated that, so you can ask all sorts of questions, and the LLM will give you answers. Looks like it's giving you suggested questions there, but you can also ask your own.
That is really cool.
Cornucopia GPT, and
and all that is powered from the COPI wiki. We knew in building that as the source of truth, in the future we would want to somehow integrate it within the game. When ChatGPT came along and it was already integrated there, I mean, it was just too good to be true. We just flicked a switch and you had it there. But I mean, I think that's part of what, because we plan so detailed going forward, we can jump on these opportunities. We like when we were developing for UE4, we knew UE5 was coming, so we built all our assets compatible with UE5. We didn't know when it was going to go live, but when it did, we were literally ported over to UE5 within a month, and we were. It gave us such a good head start.
Wow, totally.
Rob, is he doing it right to utilize the AI there?
Well, I mean, you're on the home bubble page. Just scroll down.
No, I'm talking about the AI.
Oh no! When you're on Lens, just ask it a question. Just
on
click
Lens.
on Lens. Yeah, and just say what is a home bubble, for example.
Yeah,
and then the AI will
doing it in real time here.
Yeah,
I was watching Rand. Yeah, play with it.
I love this. This is amazing. This is the first time I've seen like AI integrated into like a project like this and totally usable. Like I use ChatGPT all the time. Like we've written contracts with it and all types of stuff. So they're like now see it integrated to where you guys can like have it answer questions in the official wiki. This is massive.
This is part one. This also comes with an API. So in the future, we'll be able to integrate this with Discord to have this same effect, but we'll also be able to actually integrate it into the game. So you'll be able to go to one of our NPCs, for example, ask a question, or one of our information pods within the game, and it will be powered directly from this. So,
something that not from Gitbook. What we're working on is that sort of, we want to have AI powered NPC NFTs eventually, meaning you could have your own little robot or a dog or whatever that's programmed to go along with you. You can communicate with it in game. It'll be connected to an LLM, probably not ChatGPT, probably something that SingularityNet is working on because we're partnered with them. But it's the same general idea, is that you now have this buddy, this friend that's with you in the game, and you own that, and you can get rid of it later. And hopefully all of the training that occurred through your conversations as the LLM got smarter about the context even passes along with it as well. Because really it's just the NFT that transfers ownership, but what occurs in game in that conversation, that's all still there. So it's kind of cool what could happen there. But yeah.
That's really cool. You beat me to it. I was gonna say, what Singularity's been showing us with like the chatbots and things they have in their metaverse. There might be some introduction there, but I'm late. So
yeah, no, it's all good. I've been talking to the CTO a little bit, and we're gonna do some cool stuff with them when the time is right. There's
we announced that partnership last week.
Huh?
That's really cool. You guys are cutting edge. That's absolutely amazing to see integrated there, and I'm excited. Like I kind of nerd out on the little stuff like that, like being able to go in and talk to an NPC for real now, and not like just the 4-click buttons with the same response every time. I think that is the future of gaming. Like I'm so excited to play with stuff like that.
The question is really right now that we still need to investigate is how performant can it be? How fast can that LLM respond? Because you may have noticed if you've used ChatGPT, sometimes it's bogged down. You ask a question and it's like you're waiting, and then all of a sudden it starts writing real quick. Sometimes it's super fast and you have your answer in seconds. So that's something we got to explore with the CTO and Singularity Net is how responsive can this be? And is it going to perform if 20 people are asking a question to the NPC at the same, similar time, or how is that going to work? But, that's the deal with innovation. You got to do research and planning and figure it out. And yeah, it's awesome and fun to be on the cutting edge in that regard.
That's so cool. Is AI creeping into any other part of the game that you guys are doing elsewhere?
Yeah, potentially music. There's a lot of areas that we want to use it. We've mentioned to our team to utilize it and to research. We want. Look, I'm not here saying AI is great. We need it. It's the future, because I think it could be dangerous too. Right. So something that powerful can be incredibly dangerous, especially in the hands of a centralized entity, which is a lot of why I like Singularity Net, because they're taking a decentralized approach with AI. But so I'm scared of the implications of something so powerful. Don't get me wrong. But that being said, it's also something I can't stop. Rob can't stop it. None of us are going to stop it from happening. It's happening. So you either utilize it to improve things for yourself, or, you hide your head in the sand and don't get involved. And so what we're going to do is, we're going to use it as many places as we can. We're telling our team, hey, look, if this is going to help you to be more efficient and faster and whatever, utilize it. And so I've had a variety of team members tell me about the stories they've used it for. One of our director of finance has used it to write some Python code to update our circulating supply in an automatic way with the API. We've had people helping utilize it for different ideas of different things that they wanted ideation on. We've utilized it for some art with a different Photoshop, like Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop has some AI that you can connect into for image gen in that regard. That doesn't mean that we're not making our own custom art, because that's not the case. But like there's a variety of different things. Everything we put on our game is entirely our custom art. So that should be said, but and not off the shelf store-bought assets. But another area that we can use this is in music. We need music that changes the feel based upon the state of the player in the game. For example, we've come up with this concept of safe zones and unsafe zones. If you're in an unsafe zone and you're fly fishing one of the rivers and a attacker comes up to you with weapons, then I don't think the music should remain in a peaceful state. It probably needs to like kind of change according to what's happening. And so we're looking into different ways of utilizing AI for something like that as well. I mean, there's a lot. There's just so much. But without a doubt, just what we were able to do with Gitbook. I mean, that's a huge thing, because that's like people go into our Discord all the time and ask questions. And we want our people to be as educated as possible on what we're doing. And that's great. But you know what? If somebody doesn't know the answer, they can just quickly go into the wiki. We're going to get the Gitbook incorporated into our Discord as well. So that can be done right then and there. But yeah, lots of stuff we can do.
That's
Yeah,
really cool.
I was gonna say, Rand, let's because we've been talking about this sort of like conceptually, and Rob has told us stuff, and now Josh is here adding context. Let's play, since like this is an actual stream and it's video. We have the medium of video. Let's play the game trailer. That's like 2 minutes on the actual website itself, so people can see not only like what Rob and Josh have been talking about, but just beautiful Unreal Engine 5, 4K, like crystal clear. Should be at the top right up there.
There you go. Watch 4K game trailer. Yep.
Biggest thing is if there we go.
Whoa. Wow, that looks realistic.
Yeah, that's the power of Unreal Engine 5, really. It allowed us to utilize some amazing features and still have the game be performant. And so our graphics just took leaps and bounds ahead of where it was with Unreal Engine 4. It was a huge timing advantage for us that we were able to take advantage of this. We did have to kind of sacrifice some of the work that was done in UE4 to transition, but you know, at this point, I'm very thankful we did. You're seeing all sorts of different stuff here. You're seeing Solace, you're seeing Esperanza. These are different domes that we'll have that you could fly around to in your vehicle. There's the back of the COPI Cafe vehicle, actually, is what that was. But yeah, that we've got just vehicles that you travel around from dome to dome, and you get to do a variety of things in these domes. This is where the land that people purchased will be. So Solace has plots of land where you can go in and play and build on your land and participate in the in-game economy there. This is PvP game that's illustrating what we can do in our custom domes. When we release those, it's going to give people building kits that will allow them, the community, to create their own experiences. Obviously, this is the racing game, and this is what we'll be announcing first. But yeah, a lot to do.
And all that's in-game footage. We get a lot of people thinking that we've just made it up or we're creating a trailer. You know, there's very little of that is simulated. It is all in-game assets. And you know, I've also just shared with you a video that we created a few weeks ago of Josh and myself running around one of the domes. So these domes, you know, these are massive spaces, 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers. It'll take a couple of hours to walk from one side to the other. So we're creating huge worlds here. There's more than one.
Yeah, and it's important to know that, like, the reason Rob is saying that these videos are real gameplay, it's like, it's not a good strategy to build a bunch of videos and then have to build the assets after. It's a much better strategy to build the assets and then use the assets to make the vehicle or the video. So, you know, that's what we did. And so when we're showing you stuff, we're showing you what we've been building so that we can make this game live. And that's an important differentiator that Rob was mentioning there, because there are a good amount of projects out there. You guys got to be careful.
Sure.
There's so many that you can be a great game programmer. You can be a phenomenal game programmer and get a crypto team around you. And then you can go buy all the off-the-shelf assets and make it look like you've whipped up a game in 2 weeks. And it really looks like you've got something amazing, but people don't realize that, oh my gosh, they have a long way to go still, and they're using store-bought assets. So be careful out there. And you know, honestly, this is something that we couldn't be more proud of our team for producing all of this stuff in-house, and how we've come such a long way in a short amount of time.
Well, this looks absolutely amazing. Like, seeing the water in that video and how it rippled, and like how this water here isn't even in this image. Like, it's just mind-blowingly realistic.
Absolutely. And Josh, you know, couldn't agree with you more on the word of caution when it comes to Web3 games and people being able to do this. People forget this game still hasn't come out yet. It's now 2 years in the making, correct?
Yeah.
So 2 years, just want to remind people, it's a pretty long time if you're actually like putting down your head and working on something. It's not 2 weeks, it's not 2 months.
Yeah, and it's a short time for a AAA quality game. So for a game with the quality of what we're going for, that's a short time. It's about half or less than half of the time that most AAA studios will take working on a game of this caliber.
Yeah,
So we
for the
have
first
managed
year,
to go incredibly efficient.
for that first year, I mean, we had on or about 10 people working for us. You know, we've had to grow the company as well.
Yeah,
So
we hadn't
haven't
really
got a
done
team of just
like the
programmers.
first year we didn't. You know, we're building everything in Unreal Engine 4 too, so we had to scrap that, and So considering where we're at, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, you're rocking and rolling for sure. I just wanted to give you a compliment there on the worlds. When I saw the world, so my favorite game of all time, and I'll never back down from this for better or worse, is Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay. Maybe it's because I live in the West. Maybe it's because, you know, I just love the history of the Old West. But when I see like the outdoor scenes, yeah, when I see the outdoor scenes of like the pond and the water, I get like Red Dead Redemption vibes hardcore. And I know that that is not easy to do because nobody had been able to do that other than Rockstar Games, which is basically $1 billion company. So I know that it's an incredible amount of resources and time and stuff like that to get that. When I sort of look at Cornucopias, if I had to like compare it to two things, it reminds me of the movie Elysium with Matt Damon, where everybody's like living in space to escape Earth. And then combined with Red Dead, the open world explorability craziness of Red Dead. I'm sure I'm sort of wrong in making those comparisons, but just graphically and visually, that's what it looked like to me. Super high quality, crazy.
Yeah.
And the racing reminds me of an old video game, which maybe nobody played, but there was a Star Wars Tatooine racing game. That's exactly what it looks like to me.
Oh yeah, it's very similar to that. And there's not too many flying vehicle type games, which is partially why we wanted to really dive into that segment. I do want to say for anybody watching here that it is partially because of the fact that we're streaming live. I think you can't have this YouTube on the 4K settings, but for anybody that wants to go to our YouTube and watch some of these videos like this one here, switch the setting to the highest quality to 4K, and you'll see how crisp and how real looking this is. And it's a powerful thing, without a doubt. I don't know if that's going to stream well at all, but
we're going to try.
Even unfortunately on StreamYard,
it's a little choppier, but
even the top on StreamYard, I think we're limited to 1080p. So yes, just to qualify what Josh is saying.
So no matter what I do,
no matter what what are you using? StreamYard? Yeah, StreamYard is gonna buffer that because they want to make sure you still have a quality experience. Pew! There goes the lights.
The bit where the lights out, it was amazing.
We're just happy to have 4 people talking from around the world right here. So
yeah.
Go to the YouTube by yourself as a single user to see the amazing quality of these videos. They're there. I've seen them myself. It's not.
Oh my God, that looks amazing. I'm sorry. Wow.
And this is our own, like we're working on tech where the water reacts to your, motion, your physical presence inside of it, and so it makes it look even more real, which is pretty powerful.
And it's replicating. We are both in this space. In a minute, you'll see us both together,
which is a big accomplishment in and of itself. Is like a lot of games don't even start off with the replication factor because there's just a lot of different programming that needs to occur to make sure that when I'm walking around, Rob sees me walking around as I'm walking around, etc. And then getting more and more people in there becomes even more challenging. But we've got this right now where we're probably going to be, when we go live with the Cornucopias game that gives special access to Coledio Valley, that's in the very near future. We're going to have a max of 16 racers.
How near future? Are we talking Rare Evo near future? End of year near future?
Oh,
what's the date of Rare Evo?
August 24th through the 26th.
Yeah, it should, unless
really near,
unless something really bad happens. I would like to say that we'll definitely be before then, because we're looking at, pretty soon.
This is so cool.
Last year we had the racing game. We had 3 players playing. Josh and myself actually raced against Charles Hoskinson. That was a really good race. But yeah, we're going to do it all again this year with the updated version. of the game.
Yeah,
So,
and that was like hey, we need to build out a prototype of what we want to do in racing. And so a lot of that had to be rebuilt. The physics had to be rebuilt in that. Not much of the art has just been improved and modified and things of that nature within it. But yeah, that proved that we're like, okay, we've got a concept that we can run with here. Let's do that. And it's going to enable us to start testing things like multiplayer, like Rob was talking about. It's enabling us to test that and get that refined, because Solace and Esperanza and these domes that we're going to open up, those are all about getting 50 people in there if we can, getting 100 people in there if we can, and people building on their houses, and that has to replicate, and there's a lot of complexities. So we start figuring that out now so that we can unfold those areas more quickly and effectively in the future.
Yeah,
but also get our community busy playing something.
There seems like there's just so many moving parts that have to come together. I don't envy you in having to connect the parts, and just wish you well. I'm sort of wondering.
Speaking of connected parts, I don't know how many APIs we have, but it's a lot.
It probably looks like a ball of yarn after a kitten gets through it.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, things have to come together.
It better not look like a ball of yarn, but hey. But yeah, no, it's true. There's a lot. You were about to say something.
Sure. I was wondering, does this all render in a browser? Do we have to download a game client? Like this almost, when I see this just seems so exciting and so cool. This also reminds me too of like VR. I'm just like, is this going to be on a VR headset soon? I'd love to know.
A really good question there. I think Rob was dying to answer the browser rendering question, but go ahead, Rob.
No, we won't talk about browser rendering yet. But what you're looking at here is the PC version. This is 4K. This is 60 FPS.
Mm-hmm.
Replicating. Yeah, I mean, I was actually running.
It was 4K 60 FPS for us. It's not as you're seeing it right now.
Not streaming.
Yeah.
But when people are playing it in a few weeks, they'll be playing at 4K 60 FPS.
It's a downloadable client.
Yeah, so
awesome.
And that's why this launch, you said a lot of moving parts, and it is true. This for us is we're going into alpha release of the Cornucopias game, which gives special access to Toledo Valley in the Racing Dome. To do that, we have to launch our player account setup. We have to launch a desktop launcher, which launches the game, and both of those are big tech accomplishments in and of themselves. Those are both taking months and months and months of work, different teams working in parallel. The player account is live update. You guys can go log in and register right now, cornucopias.io/register, and set up your player account. Allows you to create your Web3 wallet, allows you to add dual authentication, allows you to view your NFT assets that you have. And then eventually, very, very soon, maybe even next week, it'll allow you to launch the desktop launcher, which we're going to be going into testing with very, very soon. And the desktop launcher is what, when we turn that on, has a play button that will launch the game. And it allows us to do that in a secure way where we know if a file's been tampered with or anything like that. It helps us to launch it and keep things secure. So we're really nearing the finish line. And to get all those things tied together and all the data, that was a lot of APIs and a good amount of flow that's occurring. I think we still have a few APIs we're working through, and we're trying to keep everything. All right, look, let's keep this easy and as minimal as possible so that we can execute, but there's challenges to that. You're seeing right now the Toledo Valley entrance to the Racing Dome, which looks a lot like a combination of Vegas and Disney World or something. It's pretty amazing. I love it.
Yeah,
and that's the Royal Corn.
I just I'll never get over the "We Are the Corn" with the corn emoji. You don't see the corn emoji doesn't get a lot of love, so I was really happy to see it down there in the comments.
Is this Bubble Jet ad for this car? I feel like there's like a Coca-Cola partnership coming. It just it really just needs Coca-Cola.
I wish I could say yes to that, but no, we're not going after brands that big just yet. But there will be a day when we might have millions of gamers. That's part of the vision. And when you have millions of gamers, you can talk to companies like that about ad space. a variety of different things. So that's definitely a part of the vision, is to go to B2B type partnerships and provide value in ways that allows their community extra value. And there's all sorts of things that we can do, but ad space is one of them.
Absolutely. And it is the future.
We're teasing ideas as well with this resort here. On some of the videos, you'll see us go into actually the forecourt of some of the vehicles. So some of the showrooms, in fact, in this video we do as well. And you'll actually go and get to see what the NFTs look like. You get to walk around them, look at the different ones. You'll be able to compare them like you've never been able to compare them before. You're no longer comparing images with images and metadata. You'll actually go into the showroom here and you'll be able to see them. So I think later on in the video, we maybe in about 2 minutes, and if you want to skip forward, you'll see us actually go into one of the showrooms. Yeah, around about there.
Definitely getting Vegas vibes there. And
yeah.
I know that we can't plug Coca-Cola here, and there's no Coca coming up, but COPI
Cafe, yeah, you can plug COPI Cafe.
COPI Cafe, maybe get a red logo, switch some things around, call it COPI Cola until the real money starts coming in. Just a suggestion.
Hey, that's great. And the funny thing about that is we do have a COPI Cola branded can. Like we almost took those COPI Cola cans to Consensus 2 years ago.
Perfect.
Yeah, that happened. I wish we had it to pull up and show you real quick, but yeah, there's a COPI Cola. So
I
great minds think alike, man. Good job.
Well, how about these NFTs with real utility?
Yes.
Oh,
these are really cool.
Oh yeah.
I love all the vehicles.
And gentlemen,
eventually you guys will be able to park these NFTs that you own in your garage, walk around it, get into it, exit your home bubble, and travel to a whatever dome it may be that you want to do something at, and start playing around in the game. So we're not that far from that sort of experience, but we will be launching with the special access to the Racing Dome racing area, which you guys are seeing now. It won't start with the home bubble, but that's coming. We're working on all these things.
I love it. And I'll never get over that royal corn. Gentlemen, I know that your time is valuable and that we've got to wind down here in a little bit. You've got other appointments, you've got other stuff to go to, and we've been going for an hour. So maybe like as a closing, couple of minutes of talk, you're coming to Rare Evo. It's happening in Denver, August 24th to the 26th. Get your tickets now before they go up. I'm super interested to know you guys, coming from the digital space, coming from the blockchain space, what value to you, is there coming to these in-person events? If you're going to be releasing all this stuff, hopefully people are going to be able to play it at the event. Somebody's going to have their gaming PC out. There's always one at every conference, right? Somebody's going to be playing it. Maybe, I don't know, are you guys going to do a presentation? Is there going to be something at your booth? What can we look forward to at Rare Evo, seeing you guys in person, meeting you, what you're excited about?
Well, you'll have some computers up where there will be some gameplay.
Happening.
So that's definitely in the plans.
I'm excited.
That'll be
and you asked what we value about getting to the events like that. It's something like that. It's not necessarily real to somebody just seeing these videos and seeing what we're doing on COPI Cafe every week. It's not as real to you until you can come experience it yourself. So this is a great opportunity for us to meet our community and others in the community and invite them into what we're doing and have them have a real experience with what we're doing. Have them be able to walk around and see what we've created and experience it in that way. That's a solidifying experience, and that's important. Obviously, meeting other partners and potential partners and showing other people is huge too. But this is why conferences are so important. It's also important to get the team together. It's a bonding experience for the team. It's a ridiculous hard work for the team. They have to organize everything, get the booth ready and all these things, and then be on their feet all day long, talking to people all day. It's hard, but it's a bonding thing. And it's we're going to take each other out to dinner afterwards. We're going to, it's great. Conferences are great, but they're not easy either. But we really value that. And, obviously the best thing is when we can get the game in everybody's hands, no matter if they're in a conference or not, but there's certainly huge value to getting everybody together physically in the same space. So
Absolutely. And if you've never been to a blockchain conference before, my first one was Bitcoin. Then it was Consensus. I wanted to go to Rare Bloom, but unfortunately I had work commitments there. So this will actually be the first time that I'm going to be at the new Rare Evo. It's just going to be fun. It's going to be, people that you've seen online forever, projects that you've wanted to interact with. And like, I get it. I love all the digital stuff. I'm a Bitcoin guy. I'm a Cardano guy. I love all the digital assets, but the people behind it, the real people that make the digital stuff happen, such a unique, interesting experience. Some of the funniest and most creative people I've ever met too are in the blockchain space. So, and I used to hang out with a lot of stand-up comedians, so that's saying something. All right, guys, gentlemen, you've been more than generous with your time with us here. We got you both on the stream for more than an hour. We know that you have another appointment to go to. So closing statements here about where should people go to find out about Cornucopias? What should they be doing? And of course, obviously buy your tickets to Rare Evo. Closing statements, Rob, Josh.
Yeah, go to cornucopias.io/register. Go to our website and connect there. Always be careful to only go to our platforms, but go to there, cornucopias.io/register, set up your player account and get on the testing list, because we're going to be gradually increasing the alpha group size and allowing more and more to test over time. So it's kind of a first come, first serve thing. Or if you happen to own certain rare NFTs, you get earlier access. But yeah, that's kind of how it's going to work. But I don't know if Rob has anything else to add.
Yeah, I'd have a look at us on our YouTube channel, Cornucopias Game, and yeah, Rare Evo is our kind of first public event of the year. We can't wait to see the faces that we chat with every day in Discord, and there's no better feedback that we get from, like, when we were there last year, to see players playing your game. I mean, it's amazing to see them smiling and seeing that they actually enjoy the game, and they enjoy the game because they go right back to the queue, and then they come again and again and again and again, and you wouldn't do that if you weren't enjoying it. And that was, you don't see that. You see comments, but comments are not the same on YouTube as seeing people face to face. And we had a real good laugh last year, so we're looking forward to doing it all again.
You're going to find me being that guy coming back again and again to play it. They're going to be looking for me at the event, like, where's Rand? And they'll just know Cornucopias booth.
Come on, man. Come play.
It makes it all worth it, doesn't it? All the hard work.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing it, and we'll see you there, gentlemen. Rand, give us the closing statements on Rare Evo, ticket prices, when it is, and then we will bid you adieu.
RareEvo.io. The event's August 24th through the 26th. Ticket prices go up every 15th of the month. We're on our second to last one. I believe our general admission tickets are $250 currently, so go get those quickly. VIP tickets are sitting at $950. Rooms to stay at the resort, the Gaylord Resort, are half off through our website, rareevo.io. There's a limited amount of those, so definitely book them today. And I'm so happy to leave this off with this video of a sunset in Cornucopias. I think it's the most fitting way to roll out of here. So thank you guys so much. It's been an amazing podcast.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. See you, Rob. See you, Josh.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you at Rare Evo.
Cheers.